Clinton and Trump are blitzing through battleground states tonight in a final bid to get their voters out tomorrow to cast their ballots.
The message definitely being heard here in Florida, where more people have already voted early than did in the entire election back in 2000. Looking at our countdown clock, the polls open at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's just under 9 hours away.
And on this election eve, the race to see who will be moving into the White House is very close, according to new polls just out. Quinnipiac University surveyed Florida voters and found that Clinton has a slight lead over Trump, 46% to 45%. Gary Johnson is at 2%. Jill Stein is at 1%. Looking at the latest Bloomberg nationwide poll, Clinton leads Trump by just 3 points, 46% to 43%.
Our crews are bringing you coverage of this important general election from around the state. We begin with Kent Justice joining us with an update on the final day of the presidential campaign. Kent.
Yeah, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton planning to campaign late into this eve of Election Day. Just within the last hour, Donald Trump finishing a rally in Manchester, New Hampshire. He came to the stage accompanied by his children and their husbands and wives. And this also was the first time today, this rally, where we get to see both Trump and his running mate, Governor Mike Pence. Trump took a few minutes to play to this specific crowd because he touched on a good luck note that he received from New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick before he started talking about jobs.
Hopefully tomorrow's election results will give the opportunity to make America great again. Best wishes for great results tomorrow, Bill Belichick. So I just want to, we are living through the single greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. There's never been anything like this. A Trump administration will stop the jobs from leaving America, and we will stop the jobs from leaving New Hampshire. Believe me, we will stop those jobs.
New Hampshire, one of those swing states that's in play. Now looking at the Clinton campaign, take a look at the huge crowd that turned out for a star-studded rally in Philadelphia. The campaign brought in the big guns, former President Bill Clinton, Chelsea Clinton, First Lady Michelle Obama, and the president himself, all there speaking to voters in that rally tonight. Hillary Clinton finished speaking to that crowd just 30 minutes ago, urging people to simply get to the polls tomorrow.
If you believe that America thrives when the middle class thrives, then you have to vote. If you believe all of our kids should have good schools and good teachers no matter what zip code they live in, then you have to vote. If you believe college should be more affordable, you have to vote. If you believe we must reform our criminal justice system so everyone has respect for the law and everyone is respected by the law, you have to vote.
The night isn't over for either of these candidates. Donald Trump heading to Grand Rapids, Michigan next. We know that event is supposed to start around 11 o'clock, but we also see that he's running maybe an hour behind tonight. And from Philadelphia, Hillary Clinton, she's moving to Raleigh, North Carolina. That's where she plans a midnight rally at North Carolina State University. Tom?
Thank you, Kent. To win the presidency, a candidate must first win the Electoral College. We'll be tracking those numbers state by state tomorrow night with this map right here during our continuous election coverage. Bruce Hamilton will be turning these white states either red or blue when they're called and tallying up the electoral votes to see who reaches the magic number 270.
500 federal election monitors are being sent to 28 states to help enforce voting rights laws tomorrow. That's about 2/3 the number of people the Justice Department had watching the polls in 2012. Florida is one of those states. However, no monitors will be in our area. This map shows all 5 counties in Florida where monitors are being deployed: Hillsborough, Lee County, Miami-Dade County, Orange County, and Palm Beach County. There will also be monitors in 3 Georgia counties: Fulton, Gwinnett, and Hancock counties. Duval County Supervisor of Elections Mike Hogan says we could see a record turnout by the time the polls close tomorrow.
Channel 4's Jim Piggott spoke with Hogan and is joining us live from the Supervisor of Elections headquarters downtown. Jim?
you know, Hogan says that things should go pretty well. He's optimistic about that turnout tomorrow. You know, they're talking about 80% here. Now, I want to show you, we were out as they were setting up some of the precincts tonight. I was out off New Berlin Road on the north side, precinct 211, and there they were setting up the election booths, getting ready to open those doors at 7 a.m. You know, that's a precinct out there that is pretty 50-50 when it comes to Democrats and Republicans. Talking to the manager there, she believes it's going to be very busy at times, particularly in the morning and the evening with lines out the door. But in talking with Mike Hogan, he has a little bit of a different story. He believes since about 50% of the people have already voted, he doesn't think there are going to be any problems or long lines.
We think we're going to be able to handle everything tomorrow. I don't believe there's going to be any lines. I may have to eat my words, but I think we're ready for whatever happens tomorrow.
And we will find all of that out. You know, if you can't make it to your precinct tomorrow and you haven't voted yet, one thing you can do is you still can vote absentee, but you have to do that downtown here. It's the only place that you can do it here in Duval County at the Supervisor of Elections office here on Monroe Street. You can do that up until 7 o'clock. Right at 7 o'clock, they're going to lock the doors here, so you already have to have that in their hand. And let's say you have an absentee ballot at home, you haven't sent it in, don't send that in the mail because it won't count. Bring it down here. That's what you have to do tomorrow. And don't take an absentee ballot, which people have done, to their precinct because they can't accept it there either. Your best bet, go to your precinct to vote. If you can't, come down here and vote absentee. We're live downtown. Jim Pickett, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Jim. The St. Johns County Supervisor of Elections says she, too, has seen a record number of early voters and expects another surge tomorrow. We're hearing the same prediction for Clay County. If you did not vote early, it's important to remember you have to cast your ballot at your assigned precinct. Early voter turnout in South Florida has also been record-breaking, where the race for U.S. Senate between Marco Rubio and Patrick Murphy is being closely watched.
Channel 4's Tarek Miner joins us live from Miami now with more on Senator Rubio's quest for a second term. Tarek.
We know here in Miami-Dade County, voter turnout is also the highest that it has ever been in South Florida. 760,000 people have already cast their ballot, which is 55% of the 80% voter turnout that is expected. Of course, one of the contentious races that people are voting for is the race between Senator Marco Rubio and Patrick Murphy. In his closing hours of the campaign in the Tampa area, Rubio told voters they would be better served with his experience of public service, and he urged voters not to get complacent. Now, even though most polls show Rubio with a comfortable lead over Patrick Murphy, Rubio says he doesn't pay a lot of attention to those public polls because they're often wrong in both directions in his political experience. Here's what else he had to say today to get those voters energized.
Working because it's important. We got to get, it's amazing how many people have already voted, but here's what's amazing. There are still millions of people that have not voted. As one example, there are still 270,000 Republicans who requested a mail ballot that have not yet returned it. Maybe it's down to 269, and we're going to call them. And so a lot of those people now, we're going to have to start guiding them, because if they have a ballot and they haven't put it in the mail yet, they're not going to be able to vote unless they show up with that ballot. So we got to walk them through that process.
Of course, Marco Rubio has come under fire from Patrick Murphy about his weak attendance record in the Senate and also for making a complete 180 and now supporting Donald Trump. I'm going to have the opportunity to have a one-on-one interview with Marco Rubio tomorrow afternoon. We'll tell you how he is feeling on Election Day. I'm Tarek Miner in West Miami, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Tarek. And Democratic Congressman Patrick Murphy of Palm Beach Gardens is trying to unseat Marco Rubio. Channel 4's Ethan Callaway is live in Palm Beach Gardens, where Murphy hopes to be celebrating a victory tomorrow night. Ethan.
That's right, Mary. And you know, this has been an uphill battle for Patrick Murphy from the very beginning. It was going to be tough to beat Marco Rubio all along, but those polls have tightened in recent weeks, and they're really hoping they can pull out a win tomorrow night. The South Florida native announced his candidacy back in March. Since then, it has been crisscrossing the state situation, working to build support at the ground level. The race has gotten ugly at times. Senator Rubio accusing Congressman Murphy of lying, and Murphy attacking Rubio for his attendance record, as you mentioned, on Capitol Hill. Stopping at a Democratic headquarters in Miami-Dade County, Murphy talked about a demographic he desperately needs to win with: African-American voters and undecided Republicans.
half the people I spoke to seem to be Republicans, saying they're there because they want to hear what Hillary's saying. They want to hear what, the president's saying. And for the first time in their life, many Republicans saying they're going to vote Democrat down ballot because they're so scared of Donald Trump and, don't like people that don't have a backbone like Marco Rubio that aren't willing to stand up to him.
And Murphy will be here in Palm Beach Gardens at home for his watch party tomorrow night. We will be there with him. We're live in Palm Beach Gardens tonight. I'm Ethan Calloway, Channel 4, the local station.